Good stuff. Okay then, so welcome to the exchange stage if you've not already been here before. So up next on the exchange stage, we're focusing on a skill that every event professional needs, which is of course networking. So joining us today is Nick Bramley, one of the UK's leading business development specialists. Nick will share 10 practical tips and cheat codes to help you network effectively, stay authentic and leave a positive impression, all whilst representing yourself and your business with professionalism. So get ready to take notes, get inspired, and learn how to make networking feel natural and effortless. Okay, please welcome Nick Bramley to the exchange stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, this feels a bit weird. I feel like Ed Sheeran's granddad, to be honest. It's very strange wearing these headphones and having a microphone. And you're sat in the sunshine there. It shines on the righteous, doesn't it? The people at the back, the sun is absolutely flying into your eyeballs. I'm going to talk to you about authentic networking, but we're going to start with a show of hands, first of all. Put your hands up if you have got any level of nervous apprehension, concerns, or whatever it might be about going into a room full of strangers and meeting people for the first time. Put your hands up, okay? That's about 90% of people. And some people call it imposter syndrome. I don't. I just call it it's natural, and it's very, very common. The good news is, however, it's not even your problem. It's not even your fault. It's something else you can blame your parents for. So, you can blame your parents because, have any of you got kids of a certain height, certain age? How old are your kids? Okay, right, so when they're little, what do we say to kids about strangers? We tell them don't talk to strangers, don't we? Stranger danger. And then you get a job in events and they say to you, there you go, room full of people you don't know, that'll be comfortable. So it's not unnatural for people to have that kind of fear or apprehension or nervousness. And when I do a full sort of session on networking skills, it's just a bit of a taster. I ask people to define the difference between nervous, apprehensive, and bricking themselves. And there's another one beyond bricking yourself as well. And invariably, people are on that scale somewhere. So it's quite natural for that to be something for us to be aware of. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 10 practical tips. I'm cheating because I'm going to give you 5 extras at the end. And these are very simple things to help you to relax and be authentic, because the worst thing you can be is trying to be something you're not, to try and achieve something that you want to achieve in a room full of people, because it's almost impossible. Unless you've been to acting school or whatever, it's highly unlikely that you can maintain that level of kind of lack of authenticity. So it's really about being yourself and finding how to make that work for you in a networking environment. So especially if you're nervous, networking's about meeting people, but it's also about getting off to a good start. So I'll give you an example. It's a Birmingham example. Years ago, I was teaching one of my clients and the senior management team about networking skills. We did an afternoon session in their office, and they were going to an event that evening, and it was a big event at Birmingham Town. It's called Town Hall, isn't it, or the University City. There's about 300 people in this big event on the night, and I had to go and watch them network, which is ridiculous. So I'm stood there, I said, I can't really watch them network, I'll get involved. So I set them some targets to go and meet people and watch them move around the room, did all the things we talked about in the afternoon. And then I thought, I'll do a bit of networking, and I'm based in Yorkshire. I wasn't looking actively for clients in Birmingham, so I just thought, I'll just have a bit of fun. So I approached this guy at the bar who had, you know, when people have got a personal black cloud over them, the people who look like you just don't approach me for God. And he had like a bushy beard. He looked like he'd had a bad day. And I went up to him and said, do you mind if I join you? He looked me up and down. I kid you not. He looked me up and down like I was whatever I was. And he went, I don't even know you, in that tone of voice. Now, I guarantee that most of you would have got your coat and left and thought, that's it for me. And I thought, I'll have a bit of fun with this guy. He didn't get sarcasm. He didn't get irony. He didn't get any of that. So I said to him, surely that's the point. And he went, do you know who I am? Same voice. I went, no, but I'm fascinated to find out. So what I'm trying to say to you is, when you go networking, Don't look for that guy. Don't look for the guy who looks like he's going to chew your head off. Look for something that's common of interest in terms of age or gender or smiling. The very least you want to do is start with someone who looks friendly and approachable. And I do say to people, so I can't ask you your name because I can't hear you, so whatever. I'll look at your name, Luke, okay? So Luke, you look about 12, right? Is that about right? Luke's about 12. I'm only joking. Everyone looks 12 to me, Luke. I'm ancient. But at a networking event, you walk in a room, you're not looking at me going, oh, I'll have something in common with that old fart there, am I? You're looking around the room for someone of a similar age, potentially, to break into a conversation, potentially. So start easy, start with something that but look for someone who's a smiley person. Don't look for someone like the guy at the bar. And I spent 5 minutes, he had no idea how much I was taking the mickey out of him, but apparently he was some famous chairman of something or other in Birmingham. I didn't care, still don't care to this day. But the good news is, most people fear networking because they think no one wants to talk to them. Would that be fair? What if I go and no one wants to talk to me? What if I go and I'm on my own? Belinda, no mates. Billy, no mates. What if I'm stood there with my glass of wine in the corner and nobody wants to talk to me? Or worse than that, what if they talk to me and I don't know what to say? What if I get found out? So there's loads of things that people are nervous and apprehensive about. The good news is around this room here, 90% of you are nervous and apprehensive. So the fear of rejection. So what's your name, the lady on, what's your name? Sarah. So Sarah stood on her own with a glass of wine and a canapé, which is always the case, isn't it? I'm sensing the glass of wine, Sarah. But Sarah's on her own with a glass of wine and a canapé. And I said to her, do you mind if I join you? What's the chances of her saying, I'd rather you didn't. I'd rather stand here on my own, leaning against the bar, because I'm nervous and apprehensive. So when you approach somebody and say, mind if I join you, the fear of rejection is not real. I get why people have it, but the reality is I've not been to a networking event and approached somebody in the right manner and said, do you mind if I join you politely? And they've gone, I'd rather you didn't. They just don't. But I understand why people have that kind of fear. Okay. But networking, like most things in life, is based on 3 simple principles. And I call it the know, like, and trust principle. And it's very simple. To get to know you, I've got to have a conversation with you. I've not got to like you as in, oh my God, I really like this person, but I've not got to dislike you on sight. Do you know when you dislike someone on sight, there's just something wrong with their persona or approach or whatever. And then the trust bit comes over time. And all you're trying to do is find a common conversation, a common interest, a common theme, something that you can build upon. But what do most people like talking about or feel comfortable talking about the most? Themselves, Sarah, thank you. Sarah's mouthed that. It's very weird, they said. 2 words. So, yes, themselves. So get people talking about themselves, but approach people individually. I would never encourage someone who's nervous and apprehensive about networking to walk in a room and go, there's 5 people in a group there, let's join them. It's never going to happen. You're never going to go, let's start with 5. There's always someone on their own, right? There's always someone on their own, and approach somebody on their own and say, do you mind if I join you? Because the fear of rejection is just not realistic. We'll cover pairs and groups later, but look for the obvious commonalities in the icebreaking conversation. What I would say to you, anyone, by the way, is if you want a copy of the slide deck, and it's only just tips, just come up to me afterwards, give me your details, I'll send you those out, which is absolutely fine, so you don't have to make loads of notes, but you can take photographs and things. But obvious commonality. So what's the commonality today? We're at the ICC and we're at CHS Birmingham. There's your conversation piece. Talk about that. You're not trying to find a difficult conversation. So I'm not going to go up to Ed and say, hi Ed, what's the capital of Bolivia? I'm not going to put you under, it's La Paz, by the way. I mean, I knew you knew that. I could tell you knew that. But you're not trying to catch people out. You're just trying to say, how's your day going? Ed, tell me about, spy games. That's interesting. Tell me about spy games. It's making it about Ed and making Ed relax so that you can relax. Next thing is, in terms of this thing here, the next thing is, it is about them. Far too many people too keen to talk about themselves. And here's the thing, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares about you, what you do. They care about what you might be able to do together. They care about what you might be able to find some common interest in some areas of working, collaborating or whatever it might be. But to do that, you have to understand what they do. So going back to my young friend Luke, Luke, I'm all about venue, is that right? All about venue. So my first reaction to that is, oh, all about venue. Tell me a bit about all about venue. So I want you to talk, I don't want you to do it now, but I'd want you to talk about all about venue. And because what does that mean? You know, venue's in the title, but what's the element of that? Is it venue finding? Is it, you know, is it a venue? I don't know, but let's talk about it. And you'd be very comfortable talking about that, wouldn't you? I would hope. We all know what we do. We all know kind of what our unique selling point or reason for being or whatever you might want to call it is. So how many, put your hands up if you're a hosted buyer. Put your hands up if you're a hosted buyer. Okay. I love a hosted buyer. Why do I like a hosted buyer? It says hosted buyer on you, and I'll go, hosted buyer? What are you buying? And then you tell me, and we have a conversation about what you're buying. I just like, it's just, there's things that are little hooks that allow you to start a conversation with somebody. So I go, oh, Ed, you're a buyer, not a hosted buyer. Why are you not a hosted buyer? What's the difference? And we'd have a chat about that, wouldn't you? I don't know. It might be that you're too tight, you didn't buy a hosted buyer package. I don't know what the solution is. I have no idea. I have no idea. What I'm trying to say to you is, try to make it conversational. Don't make it difficult. Don't make it like you've got a questionnaire. So, question 1, where have you travelled from? Question 2, what kind of business do you do? But it starts with them, not you. Most people are comfortable talking about themselves rather than other subjects. And then you've got open questions. Does anybody know what an open question is? What's your name? Nadia. Nadia, what's the open question? I didn't hear that. It was just that. Yes, I know you've answered this perfectly right. The answer is, can't be answered yes or no, and the who, what, why, where, when, how. So instead of saying, are you enjoying the exhibition? Yes. That doesn't really move the conversation anywhere further forward. What do you think about the exhibition is the open version of that, for example. I would encourage all of you to practice open questioning. Practice asking questions that are who, what, why, where, when, how, because the reality of that is conversational wizardry. That is where people share with you stuff. If you ask them closed questions, did you drive here? Yes. Have you been here before? Yes. Sounds like the worst date ever. Doesn't it sound like one of them dates where you're just thinking, oh my God, I can't wait to go home. So, how did you get here? What do you think? What's the first time to visit? What do you think of the venue? How's the exhibition going for you? How's the conference, etc.? Who, what, why, where, when, how? So if you're in a conversation with anyone, networking or otherwise, and you're getting clipped answers, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, rephrase the question. Just rephrase it into a who, what, why, where, when, how. Conversational wizardry. Next thing is, I guarantee if I asked, there's probably, 30 people in the room? 30 people in this room to tell me about your business. There'd be 26 versions would be pretty much the same. You'd start by telling me what you do, wouldn't you? Sorry, I didn't glaze over there at all. I wasn't. Everybody does the same though. Everybody talks about the same stuff when they introduce their business. So when you're at networking events, think about doing something different. Think about being a little bit more impactful. Is there anybody in here from Hilton Hotels Group? No. I was on the stage this morning opposite Hilton Hotels Group, and they've got a strap line on their stand, and it says, driving something travel, I think it said. Driving something travel, 3 words. And I said, I guaranteed the people in that room this morning that none of them on that stand would use that phrase, driving intuitive travel, or whatever the phrase was. So I checked. I went to the stand at Hilton this morning. I said, can you just face me a bit? There was 4 of them. Face me, don't look back. I said, what's your strap line? And they went, something about travel. I went, wow. So Hilton Hotel Groups have spent a fortune designing this stand, which has got, driving intuitive travel. I said, have any of you used that phrase this morning? No. Okay. What have you said? Well, Hilton Hotel Group, we do hotels. I went, oh, right, no shit, Sherlock. Hilton Hotels does hotels. We know that. We know why you're telling people that, why you're starting with that. Be a bit more different, be a bit more impactful, as it were. I'll come on to that in a second. I call it 3 key words and the power of why. There's more to come. But when we talked about approaching people who are individuals, that's okay at the start of a networking event. You go into a networking lunch, people are on their own at the start. If you either get there late or you look around when you finish with the first person that you've been talking to, you look around and everybody is paired up and grouped up. You think, oh my God, I can't. what do I do? I can't find anyone on their own. So you've got to approach a pair. So what I want you to do, James, can you stand up for me? And also, can you stand up for me as well, Ed? You don't mind. And just stand as if you were having a chat at a networking event, okay? Right, okay. Slightly false because of where I've forced you. Stand, don't move an inch, don't move a muscle, okay? So from this angle, what Ed's doing slightly is he's saying, well, we are in a conversation, but I'm actually what I call an open pair. You can come and talk to me. You not so much, by the way. You're saying, no, don't approach me at all. I'm facing my shoulder to shoulder. But in most cases, James and Ed, standing like most people stand at a networking event, they stand as an open pair. Thanks, have a sit down, guys. They stand as an open pair, but what you look at a pair of people and you're thinking, they're facing each other. Rarely do you get strangers at a networking event facing shoulder to shoulder, face to face, because they're not that deep in conversation. If you get old friends at your meeting, you do that. It's natural. And then you're saying to people, subliminally, don't approach me, that's fine. But you're looking for people who are open. And what you do is you approach the one who's talking. I always drop my shoulder. I didn't know I did this. Sorry, James, do you mind if I join you? I just didn't want to be on my own. Oh, please join us. And I guarantee they'll tell you what they were talking about. Oh, yeah, we just talked about the, CHS. We just talked about the venue. We just talked about the weather because we're British. We were just talking whatever it might be. And then it's really about joining in the conversation when it's appropriate. But a pair is not an exclusive pair when it comes to networking. And a group is usually two pairs that have been forced together by the size of the room. So if Ed and James and what's your name? Molly and this lady here were in a four, the chances are there's probably 2 twos going on. I mean, Ed's not holding court with 3 of them potentially. Unlikely, not like, but you're not. You're probably talking to James in the same vicinity as the other 2. So look for the openness around the edges of the groups and just say, do you mind if I join you? I hope you don't mind. And most people would say, please do, because they were on their own a minute ago and they don't want you to be on your own as well. Choose some networking clothes or accessories. It's a bit late for today. I've got a few networking clothes. My daughter, when she used to live at home, she'd go, are you going networking, Dan? Yeah, okay. I used to have a Marks and Spencer shirt. It was absolutely hideous, but it was brilliant for networking. It looked like a deck chair, like a mint toothpaste deck chair. I don't know, but I'd wear it for networking. Why would I wear a mint toothpaste shirt for networking? Because in a room of people, when someone says, is Nick Bramley around? They'll go, oh, yeah, he's wearing blue. Oh, wow, okay, that's helpful. I once had to meet somebody at a black tie dinner at York Racecourse. Last minute switch for my client. Said, oh, how will I recognise you? He said, I'll be in a black tie dinner suit. Oh, okay, like the other 170 other people. Brilliant, that'll work. So wear some networking clothes. Ladies, it's all I can give you. Accessorise, that's all I know. That's it. That's my entire reference point to fashion, as you can probably tell. So accessorise, wear something bright. If you're in a networking room, wear something, oh yeah, she's the lady, yeah, she's got the whatever it might be on. And blokes, fellas, just don't always wear, I'm wearing the worst networking clothes ever, but I'm not networking, so I'm okay. Wear something that stands out in a room full of people. Okay. So we're going to talk about being interested and inquisitive. I did this earlier on the exhibition one, so I'm going to whiz through it. It's really about asking questions about the whole thing here. How's your show going? Where have you travelled from? What brings you here? What is it you do? How long have you been doing that? What have you seen so far today? What about us? If you're on a stand, how does that look? Can I show you what we're doing, etc., etc.? And what do you think? Just conversational. Show some interest in them, but your turn comes when they say, okay, let's have a flip on that. They're going to ask you at some point, what do you do? Now, I guarantee you've got a myriad of language options available to you in your business, whether it's your website about us, whether it's your bullet points, whether it's your values, your mission statement, whatever, strap lines. You've got loads, haven't you? Loads of things to choose from. So why not make it crystal clear? So your choice of language and consistency are really, really important to get someone hooked in. I call it the lean in moment. If you say something interesting to somebody, they'll go, tell me more. If you just say, we're Hilton Hotels, we do hotels, there's no lean, because we already knew that. Yeah, I'm not knocking Hilton Hotels, I'm just saying they've got an option to be better than just saying we do hotels. Walk past the Hilton Hotel stand and go, what does that strap line say? They don't know, they still won't know, but they haven't used it all day. So, worldwide group, I'll tell you what we do in a minute, but this is what we start with. We talk about worldwide group. Say, what's worldwide group? We say we're all about captivating our audience. look, you all leaned in there, didn't you? All went, what does that mean? And that's what it's about, captivating your audience, okay? We focus on the tech stuff, we get things done, we make our clients look great, we help our event organising clients to enjoy their events. Put your hands up if you're an event organiser. On the day of your event, you hate it, don't you? Truth be known, it's like you're thinking, oh my God, hope it all goes well, whatever it might be. Our job at Worldwide Group, captivating your audience, is to make sure you enjoy your event. You put so much work into it. Why shouldn't you enjoy it? That's the kind of thing we talk about. We just happen to do all this stuff here. And I'm not bothered, I'm not going to present that really, but you know, we don't start with live event production, streaming, etc. We talk about captivating the audience and making you look good and making your events work and all that kind of thing. It's the lean-in moment. It's just better than starting off with live event production. Oh, we don't need that. Streaming, we've got that. We talk about these kind of things here. So what 3 words? I talk about painting pictures. I've put 3 pictures up there, the terrible versions of those pictures actually. They're pretty good on a full screen. When I do a workshop, I'll say to somebody, imagine I'm blind, but not blind from birth, so I understand colours. Describe picture on the right to me. And the amount of people who run out of words to describe that picture on the right because they can't see pictures, they can't describe things in pictures. So paint pictures of working with a client, paint pictures of what it might look like working together. We're okay for time? Yeah, we're fine, aren't we? That's all right. I never time anything, ever, to be fair. So 3 words so this one of my clients describes their business in 3 words: innovation, inspiration, and impact. They start with that. They happen to be a digital e-learning producer. But when somebody says to them, oh, what does your business do? They say, we're based on 3 things: innovation, inspiration, and impact. And they can tell a story behind each of those 3 words. They can paint pictures. What does innovation mean? What does inspiration mean when it comes to learning? What's the impact that you're talking about? And it becomes the thing that people then lead into. So from a presentation point of view, if they started off with, we do digital e-learning, people just go, oh, we don't need that. But actually, we do need some innovation when we come to how we inspire our learners in our organisation, for example. So they use those 3 words. Think about pictures. If anyone wants to have a go, I like the one on the left, but it's not a very good version of the picture. But that one on the left, it should take you 5 minutes to describe that picture on the left. But I get people running after like 20 seconds and go, it's like a colourful avenue of trees. Okay, just get better. Just practice a little bit. Just think about all the things you could describe, and that's the way to describe your business, but capture it down into 3 key words. And does anyone know what the best single word to use if you want to take someone on a journey? What's the best single word? Anyone put a hand up and care to make a guess for me? And I promise I'll take my headphones off and listen. Anyone want to make a guess for me? Yes. Sorry? Oh, we're in the presence of greatness. What's your name? Thank you. I didn't hear your name, but I heard that. Right. The word is imagine. If you can take someone on a journey with you by asking them to imagine. So imagine, put your hands up, you're an event organiser. Put your hands up, you're an event organiser. Let's go. So, Nada, what kind of events do you do again? All types of events, okay? So I want you, when you're describing your business, to imagine the end game. Not the event organising, that's the practicalities of it. So imagine that you've got an event that needs to inspire 150 people in a fabulous venue that's got colour and energy and passion and all. That's what it's practicing those kind of things with the imagine moment will take people on a journey with you. And when you're at networking, people will go, wow, I met some really interesting people last night. This lady really got into my ribs about what we could do together and collaborate on that basis. A great word to use, by the way, is collaboration in your environment. Collaboration is a great word to describe how you work. It's better than partnership. Collaboration is truly about getting together and working together. Okay, so I mentioned 10 tips. You've had 10 already, so I'll give you 5 extras as a bonus because I'm just like that. I'm from Yorkshire. We're not all tight, you know. Everybody says we're tight in Yorkshire. I'm giving you 5 freebies. So, quick tips. Be yourself. I've mentioned this already. It's really hard to maintain cover of something that you're not. You know, if you are, some of the best networkers I've ever met are just quietly competent. They've got a competence about them. They're not massively confident. They're not outgoing. They're not loud. They're not brash. They kind of get what we've talked about earlier. They can articulate their business quite clearly. They can build relationships quite clearly. They can build that know, like, and trust momentum quite clearly. And it's not about being the loudest person in the room, because the loudest person in the room is the one that you're going to avoid. We all avoid the loudest person in the room, don't we? You're nodding at that. You've met the loudest person in the room a few times, haven't you? Exactly. Next one. If you had friends at school, college or university, you can network. Put your hands up if you had friends at school. And then I went into events. Okay, right, so we called it networking in the 90s, about mid-90s. So we've got this thing called networking, and it suddenly became a thing. Rubbish. If you can build relationships like you did at school and like you did at college and university, etc., you can network. It's just about finding a common interest, something that is a hook, a conversation piece. And you know what? You don't have to like everybody. Because when you're at college and school, when you've got kids at school, in the first year they go to school and they have a party, all the class come, don't they? Like 30-odd kids, and you recycle all the crap they give you at the next one, don't you? 30-odd kids come to the party. And then 3 or 4 years down the line, it gets to about 15, and then it becomes 8. And then those 8 have got common interests, whether it's sport or art or whatever it might be. And that's what you're doing with networking. You're deciding on this room full of people. Find 5 or 6 people that you can build relationships with. It's not about everyone. Be respectful and helpful. Be a connector if you can. I like to think myself as a connector. Oh, you want to meet this person. Oh, I know somebody who might be helpful. There's nothing in it for you except for the fact that you are a good person. And then people seek you out. It's like, oh, I'll go and talk to her. She's brilliant. She was really helpful last time. Try and be a connector. Open up your networks to people who need to network. Don't forget to connect, obviously, but people don't do that. Oh, the amount of technology these days, by the way. You know, whatever happened to a business card? I loved a business card. I've got some business cards. I've got some. It's like giving somebody a COVID-infested piece of cardboard these. What the hell is that? Business card? Can I scan you in? Oh, yes, you can scan me in. I'll scan you in. Then you've got, what do you do with that? So there's a lot, but please do all of that. Do whichever way you do it. Scan them, business card them, connect with them on LinkedIn, but please do connect because you might want to follow it up. And just like any skill in life, networking's a practice thing. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be at it. And you know what? You'll have a bad day occasionally because you'll meet some dicks. You will meet some dicks occasionally, but you won't meet many. I've met in my time, I don't know, probably, I can count on 2 hands people I've instantly took a dislike to. And I've been I'm 1,000 years old, you know, I'm like Methuselah. I've been round the block a lot of times. I've 10 people I think, oh my God, I'll avoid them like the plague. That's not bad odds, is it? Not bad odds. But I'm looking for people who smile, and look at you lot. You are the smiliest audience ever. I'd be happy, well, not all of you, I know you are. I'd happily approach any of you because you're all smiley. And I wouldn't be fazed by that. And if I was a new to networking person, I'd still approach you because you're friendly and smiley and you're giving off all the right vibes. So, what a pro, 1443. As if I'd practiced, which I didn't, you can tell. Was that useful? Yeah? It's just about being as natural as you can, as authentic as you can, within the framework of what your normal persona is and your personality is, but learn to tell the story and learn to show some interest in the other person. It will just become easier for you. Yeah? Any questions? I don't know how questions work with these things. Any questions? Who's got any questions? Have you got any from anywhere? No? Any questions at all? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Cheers.